All right, if it's Tuesday, that can mean only one thing, and it is hot. It's the summer, and it's time for Comic Book School Live. Mike, I am sweltering here in New Jersey.
It's nice and sunny, but cool out here in California.
Yeah, in New Jersey, if it starts to rain in my office, do not be surprised. Humidity is 100% in here, and I even got my hair cut.
Now,
and it's still hot.
Is that from the humidity, or is it just
humidity? Literally cut my hair for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Mike, tonight we're going to be we got a great show as always. Tonight we're gonna really dig deep into how to create great characters. Drawn Swords is ready to go. I saw Drawn Swords already commenting while we were backstage, right, Mike?
Yeah. We also got Greg here. He has arrived. Proceed.
Thanks, Greg. We appreciate that.
We've got Gatilla. Gatilla had a whole run here.
Yeah, I was seeing Gatilla's comments.
He ain't showing up early or on time.
He was like this at the keyboard.
Apparently, he wants to know if we're going to be running late, which apparently we are. And our good friend Andrew Campbell from Down Under, he's here.
Hello, friends.
Oh, and our other buddy Russ, detective.
And the detective is here.
No, look, the whole gang's here.
The whole gang's here. Well, they're going to be excited, Mike. But for people who are new to the show, who are you?
I'm Mike Fasolo. I'm going to read right off here. 3-time Emmy Award-winning, 2-time Annie Award-winning screenwriter and comic book writer. Wait, where are my media assets?
Yeah, you're in charge of sound effects.
There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. And then who am I?
Let's see. You are Buddy Scalera, award-winning comic book writer, educator, and marketing technologist.
Yeah, like anybody cares about that part.
Everyone cares about being a marketing technologist.
Well, that's how I pay for everything. Okay, here we go. So tonight, Mike, we got a call out. Last week we talked about going to conventions, and that's Sean Chen.
Hi, Sean Chen. He's been on the show quite a few times.
Good friend Sean Chen. He's wearing his Mega Droid shirt from Nelson DeCastro, good friend of ours in the Comic Book School show. And there we are pointing to the Comic Book School logo on my banner.
Look at that. And that's one of those banners you had made specifically for the Comic-Con.
That's right. And it was a very glamorous event. As you can see, the bleachers behind us. But it was good to see Sean, and we had fun at Eternal Con 2025. So I'll keep you guys up to date on our adventures. But tonight on Comic Book School, tonight we're going to talk about how to create a visual character map. You're going to lead us through some AI tools for character bios. And Mike, even you don't know about this, but tonight we're going to be doing something new called our community spotlight. Spotlighting literally somebody in our community who's doing something awesome. And I believe that person may even be in the audience tonight. So we're going to keep them here all the way to the end.
Interesting. Is it Gatilla?
Gatilla wins the community award every night.
Would a t-shirt cannon be considered marketing technology? I suppose it would.
I guess it is. It's technology, or a t-shirt trebuchet, whatever it is. Sorry. He is in a good mood. He's wound up. All right, Mike, and a little subtle note. Here's our social media channels. I don't know if you follow us on any of these. We occasionally update it when we get around to it.
Yes.
Although you did give us edited a video. So if you guys haven't seen it, Mike edited a video and gave us a new video just the other day. It went up this week, right, Mike?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, thank you. And it's Victor Medina. Nice to see you, Victor.
Hiya, Victor.
All right, Mike. So this is going to be a two-part show. We know how much people like our two-parters. So tonight in part one, we'll be talking about creating a visual map and using those AI tools. But part two next week, we're going to be talking about character journeys and creating conflict with characters. Audience, you should know that Mike learns about this stuff at the same time as you. I give you almost no notice of what we're going to do, right?
Yep, I got an email this morning that said, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and then I had to do some stuff for it.
So, but you do a heck of a job.
Well, thank you. Yes,
it's all cliffhangers.
Busy schedule.
It's all cliffhangers. All right, Mike. So we're going to get into character maps. First thing we're going to do is we're going to just talk about a character map and why you should create one. So a character map essentially, and I'll lead off, Mike, and then I'll expect you to jump in with some intelligent, witty, and insightful information from being a 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer. But a character map is exactly what it sounds like. It is a way for you to visualize characters and their relationships. They can be done in a variety of ways, and tonight we will show you a variety of ways that you can do that with the tools that are on your computer or just free tools that are online. Essentially, though, I like to think of the character map in this way, which is the orbit around the central hero, right? It's really difficult to not think through who the friend is, who's the enemy, the love interest, if there is one, and the associate. Now you color them in black. The hero is the center in blue. The enemy, obviously, we've got an opposite. The friend over to the side. The associate in black. The associate may be a friend, maybe a turncoat. We don't know. And then the love interest. So creating this circle, and I like to have a minimum of this many characters in a general story. Mike, what do you do, or what do you know about character maps from your work in Hollywood?
I know pretty much nothing. Like, I would never do this. This is not what a pantser does. I just get the idea in my head, and then I kind of work through it from there. I don't sit down and go, okay, this is going to be his friend. This is going to be his enemy. This is going to be his love interest. Just kind of wait for it to happen.
All right. Well, let's see if tonight we can change your mind about that. So there are lots of different types of character maps. So these 3 examples, super easy to make. In fact, I'm going to show you how I made these. You can do them in any way you want. For example, this one is a riff on the one we just saw. This one is the different characters blocked out in different ways, showing extended detail description about them. And then the one to the far right is the main character, and then circles. This could be circles of relationships. It could be individuals. It can be groups. It can be relationships, showing the relative distance and relationship to the main character. So do visualizations like this appeal to you, Mike? If you got this from someone, would you find this to be useful?
I would find the middle one kind of useful, because then I could put little tiny descriptions in the A, B, C, and D boxes on the sides.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to show you how we do these using both PowerPoint. You could use Google Docs, or we can use Milanote. We've covered Milanote in the past, and you can see if you go to our channel, Mike, and you search on the keyword Milanote, you'll find 2 demos that we did using the Milanote tool. If you really want to get into how this works. So there's some good stuff in the archives. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pop out, see if this works. So we're going to pop out, and we're going to go into PowerPoint, and I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. How's that view? Pretty good?
That's pretty good. Jerome Soares wants to throw us a question. He says, I'm eager to see which stories fall into which map. Do you have examples of existing IP?
We will. But not in this episode. Okay.
You got to wait till next week.
You got to wait until next week. Okay. So we're just going to create a new slide. Okay. So we're going to just say character 1. All right. Now, in PowerPoint, you've got these different types of tools. Smart art is, for me, the best way to do this, but you're not seeing the smart art because can you see it? No, it's a pop-up window.
No, can't see it.
Can't see it. Okay, how about if we change the slide real quick, see if this is.
Uh-oh, our first glitch.
No glitch. I'm just going to have to show you by doing it. So I insert a smart art. There is a series of relationships, and you could pick any relationship. And you said you liked this one, right?
Yes.
All right. So over here, you could just go in here and you could put Bob, Mary, Hank, and
Jasper.
Trader. Okay, and you can put some info and more info, and you can put more info. You put more info, and you've got plenty of tools. You can play around. You can change the colors. You can make it look fun. Now the nice thing about this is I go like this, and I'm like, okay, I've got this one over here, but like I said, I want to maybe add in another version. So I go over here again. You're not going to see the smart art pop up. But you'll see the relationships, and I'll put a couple different examples in here. This is a good one because you can see how the character relates to all the other characters. So you'd say main, and then you can put 1, and then you can put 2, 2, and then you put 3, and then you put 4. So you begin to build out a visual map of who each of these characters are. You can also take this and you can adjust this, and you can move this character further away because they're moving away from the character. You could actually do this during the building process. Now, one of the things that I like to do is consider, Mike, how these two characters relate to each other. So again, I don't think you can see the pull down menus very well. No, it's not showing you the pull down menus, but you can see now I've created a relationship between these two characters. And what we want to do is show that these characters also have a relationship. So when we think about this might be Superman, you put Superman, and then you might have over here Lex, and then you have Lois. Each of them has an individual relationship with Superman, but they each have a relationship with each other. So we're going to put Jimmy over here, but Lois is closer to this side, more to the friend side, right? And then we can see how the arrows all move, and then we can go like this, and then we say, what's the relationship between Jimmy and Lois? And we could say, what's the relationship between Jimmy and Lex? Now, the point behind what I'm doing, Mike, is for us to force ourselves into making sure that we understand those relationships. So a character map helps you to understand the contextual relationship between the primary characters. And then you can have other satellite characters. Just by adding satellite characters, you can put a whole bunch of extra people. And then you're like, okay, I got a bunch over here. I got a bunch of other people that work at the Daily Planet. So I put them over here and like this. And then you could build these characters out. You want to know what their role is and what their relationship is, say, to Superman and also maybe to Clark Kent. But by doing a character map, it helps you to remember where you are. And then you can put at odds Lex Luthor way over here. He's the bad guy. And then the friends are over here. And then you could put people right over here that you're not 100% sure. They could turn on either side. But that's the point of building a character map. And that is how easily that you can do it inside of PowerPoint.
And you love this method.
I love this method because I'm a visual thinker, and it helps me to think through all of the different character bios that you're going to help demo in a little while, how we write those character bios. But what about this? When you see me do this, does this appeal to you?
This does not appeal to me. It's too, like, you're visual. I guess I'm not visual because this is too much for me. It's like you got all these arrows and people and bubbles, and this connects to that one. And it's kind of confusing to me.
Well, I can spend hours not doing the work. Just build it. After I would do this, I'd be done for the day. I'm like, that was my day of writing. Making
and then why bother writing?
Right. Well, that's why you're a pantser. You get some stuff done. But it is worth noting. I'm gonna go back one slide.
Yes, Andrew, I am very hard to please.
Yeah. So I'm also going to now show you can do the same exact thing in a couple of other tools. So for example, we're going to stop sharing, and we're going to go over here, Mike. We're going to click over here, and we're going to share screen.
Drawn Source says we could give homework for the audience. You can think of a few examples for the, I guess, the character maps for IP.
That's right. Now, Mike, can you see my screen here?
It says character maps, yes.
All right. So we add a slide. Okay. Now we're just going to be able to do the same thing. We're going to add a diagram and we're going to add relationships. And which relationship do you like, Mike?
I can't read any of them, so I'll pick the red one.
Okay, so you've added a red one, and we've got main character, and then
Ron Swords is with you. He likes graphs.
Extended cast, and then you just kind of build it out and you work on it. Now, whoops.
Blank Stare says if you put that on a wall with push pins and a rope, you could be mistaken for a serial killer.
It's always been one of my goals.
And yes, suddenly I am not good for morale. No, I am not.
All right. So now over here, I like this one because it kind of gives me an opportunity to play around. Oops. I got to tell you, sometimes it's a little tricky to grab these guys.
Yep. That's why I got to have a bigger cursor.
And this is just with little building blocks. You can build out. Oh my God, I can't get it tonight. And there's lots of different tools that you can add and you can play with. But, you know, most people who have Gmail will use their Google Docs. And there's any number of different types of tools that you can do. Nice thing about what you do in the Google Docs is very easy to share. You and I do a lot of sharing. So, you know, you could just immediately pop in here and populate any number of things. So they do have quite a few tools in here in the insert where you can do diagrams and you can put hierarchies and, you know, we can talk about the timeline of the character's growth, you know, 3 acts, different things like that. So all of this is pretty easily accessible inside of Google Docs. What do you think so far?
Again, it's making my brain hurt, but I mean, if it's helpful to you, absolutely do it. Drawn Swords also wants to know if you can share the map PDFs. Is that something that you could put up there as a template and anybody could,
Comic Book School's got you. Yeah, we got you. We got you. Comic Book School's got you.
What you're doing here, I think, is extremely useful for people who enjoy that sort of stuff, like mapping out every single detail. For me, it makes my brain hurt looking at it because I'm like, this is so much happening.
I like the way you phrase that sort of stuff.
Just on the page. It's like it kind of takes away from me telling the story as it's happening.
All right. Well, I'm going to make your head hurt more. So we're gonna go back to our right here. So as I noted, we have some videos on Milanote. We just showed you Google Docs. We did the outline. Now I'm going to show you Milanote. And I'm going to note that once again, none of this is sponsored. The Milanote demo we put on earlier. You can also do this with Miro, MS Visio, Microsoft Visio, and Microsoft Whiteboard. A lot of these tools actually are free, and some of them are paid. So, you know, you figure out which one works for you. But I'm going to show the screen, Mike, and show people how I use Milanote. So Milanote's got a basic format, and you can create a board. And so you can see right here as I drag this over, right? Can you see me just drop that?
Yep.
I'm going to put character map. What are we up to? 5. Okay. So I go into 5. Now I double click and you can see here that I'm going to add in a board. Oops. Go back. Let me just go back. Let me just do one that's already built. So, oh, not that one. That was for our character bio. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. Milanote will give you a template like this. You can start with the actual template so that you can practice with it. All the stuff is movable. All the relationships, you know, you can type into all of these blah, 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 like this. You can change the creatures. You can add different pictures. As well over here, this is the one that I was just showing you. So if we were thinking, okay, Jeremy's missing and we're going to put him closer to Gus, and all the ones that have the red X are the enemies, but they're over here, and then here are the supporting characters, and we can change the images, and we can say Maria, and we could talk about Maria and write a bio about Maria if we wanted to jump into Maria. I didn't obviously write a bio about Maria, but what this does is it gives us an opportunity to create these new characters. So let's say I were to go in here and I wanted to, can't see it.
Gatilla wants to know is this how artists become writers? Oh.
It might be. Why am I not getting what I want, Mike?
Because you're live on camera.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
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 I can't get what I want.
If only this was prepared ahead of time.
It was prepared ahead of time. All right. So we're just gonna have to do the ones that I've already prepared. You come up with a series of these. You can add characters, and this is the character map. What would you like using this? This feel more organic for you?
This would be kind of fun just because it has more pictures, but still, it's a lot of stuff going on with all those lines pointing to each other and who they are. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to take in.
So this would definitely be too much for you.
This seems a little better just because, like I said, I got the pictures and I could put little text below them, and they don't have the crazy arrows pointing to each other and this and that and making it look all nuts.
Yeah, you like that a little better.
I like this section of it a little better.
Yeah, and then you can create relationships, and then you could label it.
Yeah, that arrow would start throwing me off already.
Bad man. And you can create linkages between characters, and you can add a little to-do list. You could be like, practice using this.
Jerome Swords is a little like you. He says he admitted he'd be tempted to make graphs rather than the actual thing.
Yeah, for sure. So series of different ways of doing it, and one of the things that I also do want to show, not that one, is this, which are the character bios and the character arcs, which change the background. But you can see how you can build out your character bios. You can make them have a representative view, and you can zoom it a little bit so you can get a better view. Would you find this to be useful?
Sort of. I think it's more useful than the pointy things with all the graphs, just because it's all text based and I can write it and see it. Yeah, see, something like that, it would. This goes to that one, and this one goes to that one.
Not your jam.
No, it's not my jam.
Not your jam.
Blank Stare wants to know if any of this is useful for pitching, or is this strictly scaffolding for the builder's eyes only?
Wow.
I think it could be useful for pitching. I mean, if you got a nice big pitch deck that you're showing all the stuff in.
I have a good guess in my mind. If you were working with a publisher and they liked what you were doing, they might ask you to dimensionalize and add more information. Now you can see Microsoft Whiteboard here, right, Mike?
Yeah. Yes.
So you open up Whiteboard, and once again, you can have any kind of template that you want, and then you could build out that template. Let's see if it pops up. Did it pop up? Oh, you got to put it in there, and boom. You can now label all of these. You can have your central main character, and it's very easy to manipulate. And you can do this with Microsoft Whiteboard. And if you have Microsoft, it's pretty much free. You could add little sticky notes here, where you can put a note, and you can zoom in to the note. You can put things that you like. You're like, oh, I like this. This is cool. You can put like, oh, that's a funny person. So this is a lot of different ways that you can work with existing tools. Mike is using a PC now, and poor Mike had to give in and start using a PC because that's how the world is moving.
Back towards PC.
Now, what do you think? Is this appealing to you?
This is somewhat appealing, but this isn't the first thing that I would think to do when I was coming up with a brand new story.
No, but could you find usefulness out of this and in your, character development where you're like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to write out my character bios in a visual way so that it's easier to keep track of things. And then you would send it to me, and that's how we would build out character arcs and relationships and things of that nature.
I could sort of see that happening. I got to agree with Drawn Swords, though. He says this is mostly helpful for extremely complex stories with magic systems, betrayals, backstories. He doesn't see it for children's books, which is true. But see, like, even when we're working together, you might send me something that's like, oh, here's the idea. And even when we agree on it, I don't sit down and start writing out all these crazy character bios.
I understand. Yeah.
Like, oh, here, this is a good idea. Let's just kind of see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, so
that's true. That's true, Andrew.
What did he say?
We're slowly getting into something Mike likes, but we only have an hour.
Anyway, so Mike, you can use Milanote is what I demoed with. Of course, while I'm live, I was having nothing but problems. You can use Miro. Miro is another tool that I've used. It's very similar to Milanote, Visio, Whiteboard. Now, I think Milanote, Miro, and Whiteboard all have free versions. I don't think Visio has a free version, but like you can have a free version with all of these if you're only going to use one or two boards, and then save them, render them down as a PDF, and then you save them.
Easy enough.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just a tool that helps me get to where I want to get.
And you say you're very visual. So there you go.
Yeah. So Mike, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was using AI for character bios, and you put together a character AI prompt. And now, do you have your window open? Do you want to do a sharing?
Let's see if I can manage this.
All right. So while you do that, I'm gonna read the description that you wrote to get it started. So, character AI prompt that you wrote, Mike, was how do you create great characters for a story, novel, novella, comic, short story, etc., but make it detailed. Put in some actual characteristics that would make you like to have, would like to have, so that you can build the foundation of a great character. So, Mike, you use ChatGPT pretty regularly. Tell us, you ready to show that up on the screen?
I'm not sure it's gonna work the way I want it to. Let me.
If you want, I can just do a share real quick and do mine.
Yeah, do yours till I can get mine.
All right.
Functional.
All right. So here we go. So, Mike, what were you trying to accomplish with this one?
This one, I was just trying to, like you said. Oh, did that pop up or no?
Oh, there's your ChatGPT. I can see it. All right, go ahead. You want to roll it out?
Yes. Now I have to get back to it. Here we go.
You're doing good.
Okay. How do you create a great character for a story, novella, novel, comic, short story, etc.? But make it detailed. Put in some actual characteristics that you would like to have so that you can build the foundation of a great character. Now, just handing this over to ChatGPT, you give it a click and it lays this whole thing out for you. And that all came up for you?
Yeah, I'm watching it now. It's looking good.
So it just tells you exactly what you need to do. You need a strong desire or goal, because every character needs that. It needs something that they want to do that they're going to have trouble doing. They can't just go, oh, I want that cane, and they have to walk across to get it. There has to be something in their way that stops them from getting it. They need a wound or a flaw, an emotional scar, something, An example, after being humiliated in front of her class at 12, she became obsessed with being taken seriously. Something that's in the back of their head or in the back of their mind that is pushing them forward. They need some contradictions, things that make them interesting. Best characters are messy and contain opposites. They need an agency. How do they act? They make choices that drive the story, even if those choices are flawed. And 5 that they say here is specificity. What makes them them? This is where the gold is. Hobbies, tics, philosophies, regret streams. And the weirder, the better. And now all this is just the very, very basics. Like you could put all of this stuff in those little bubbles that you did as the main character, and then the little bubbles around it would be one of these things. Like, what are their flaws? How are they going to act when something happens? Where are they going? What do they need to do? And then ChatGPT will just throw in, it's just a character for it. It does it up in 10 seconds. It's all this. It gets the occupations, lives, the likes, dislikes, core desires, and it lays it all out. Now, see, from here, what I would do if I had put this in is just take it and then run with it. Just go, they give you the character of the occupation, freelance disaster recovery specialist. You don't like that? You put in, oh, they're a comic book writer. And you don't like that their lives, out of her van. No, I don't want her to live out of a van. I want her to be in a house by the river. And all of this stuff you can just put in and change, and ChatGPT will just, work it right into the story for you. And it can also, write out a little paragraph if you want. It can write out a small character bio. It can do anything that you need it to do. And you just use this basic stuff as a prompt. And then that will start you off on your journey.
Yeah, and what I like about this, Mike, if you scroll back up to the top, is they give you an example of what it looks like when you fill it out right here. Character profile, Iris Kwan, 29 years old. So this takes each of the areas, and you had noted agency, philosophy, quirks, and you don't want to use this character. What you want to do is literally copy this and then delete everything after occupation, everything out of appearance. And you want to build that yourself.
Yes.
And you want that just to give you the guide to do this. Back you and I we took a couple classes together. We went to New York City and took a class. A lot of these books that you buy online include these prompts, but you can use ChatGPT or Gemini to help you build out the characters. You should still do the work. You shouldn't have ChatGPT create your characters. What you should do, though, is have ChatGPT or Gemini help you to frame out what you want to know, and it'll help you to extract knowledge about your characters. Sometimes you forget, like, is the character's parents dead or alive? Are they, do they have siblings? Did they have a great childhood? Did they have a terrible childhood? Those are the kinds of things that sometimes you forget to do if you're pantsing it too much.
Yes. Yes.
Now, how many character bios do you write out, or do you typically just know it in your head and start?
I usually just start, but if I was going to do this with ChatGPT, I would do exactly what you said. I'd say, give me a character bio and give them just a basic rundown of what it is. And they'd print out that whole list. I can pull it back up. They'd give you the whole list of things of the character. And then I'd say, I don't want that occupation. I don't want that where she lives. I want a different appearance. So like you said, I would take the basics that they said, erase everything after, and then make it my own character.
Yeah, you just drop it into Google Docs. Okay, yeah. So just for fun, let's try something new where we're going to put the same prompt directly into Gemini and see what Google Gemini has to say about your cool little prompt. What do you say, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right, so I dropped in your prompt. Nope, did the wrong thing.
That wasn't my prompt.
That's not it. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. See if that worked. All right. So very similar, Mike. It's working. It says the foundation of a great character requires core concept and archetypes. It also uses these cute little emojis, tells you to start with the basic idea. It suggests personality and traits, some positive, negative, and quirks. Wow, very similar. Backstory and motivation. Obviously, those are things like what are the key events, goals and desires, fears, relationships. I'm not sure if I remember ChatGPT mentioning relationships.
No relationships.
Yep. Arc and growth. Obviously, a great story often starts with the character changing at the end. So it's prompting you to do that. Now, let's see how similar it is. Example characteristics. You got name, core concept, age, appearance. So very similar, right? Mm-hmm. Personality traits. Cynical and sarcastic, highly intelligent and perceptive, resourceful, loyal, self-reliant. Okay, so it's actually giving you some examples of Ilara Vance, a little bit of backstory and motivation. I do like having motivation as a big part of it. Relationships is very important. Arc and growth of this character, initial state, turning point, and transformation. Okay, so Mike, based on what we saw, let's ask the audience. We don't have any skin in the game. Let's go back. Which do they feel was better? I think Gemini was slightly better, but I do like the way at the very end, ChatGPT gave you that nice, neat, copy it, delete all the details, and you have that complete list. I thought that was a really neat touch.
Yeah, the thing with Gemini is Gemini will lay out the thing for you, and I think it's better for something like that. Like, here's what you need to do. But ChatGPT will ask questions at the end of its thing. Let me think I can pull that back up there. Can't do it. But it'll ask you a question about, what do you want this character to do? Or where are you thinking to take this story? Which will prompt you to keep asking it questions, going back and forth, developing the story and the character more. Gemini just kind of goes, here it is. This is what you asked for. That's it.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that's that nice touch from ChatGPT gives it an advantage. The one thing I do like about Gemini is that it connects directly to Google Docs. So I can just say, send this directly to Google Docs, and then it'll open up in Google Docs for me.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And then if I were to reprompt it, hold on, let's see if I can reprompt it. Let me just see if there is an ability. Let's just see something real quick. Okay. I will say, can you give me a basic template with no details populated so that I can use it in a document like Google Docs and fill in my own information? Sound good?
Yep.
All right, let's do that. See if it does that.
Yep.
So right there.
There's your template.
There's your template. And you know what, Mike? We will include this in the show notes for the actual episode, but please make sure you leave a comment and give us your thoughts about how we could have done this better, if you enjoyed what you're seeing here. And the algorithm likes when you leave comments, so we're kind of like begging for likes here. So Mike, now I'm gonna.
We got a comment from Drawn Sword. It says, ChatGPT is more useful to me. Admittedly, I usually reverse engineer my ideas rather than have it help me get them out. See, what I do, like, I wouldn't do the character first. I wouldn't say, this is the character I want, and then put them into a story. I would come up with the basic idea for a story, stealing from Harry Potter. Oh, he's a wizard who lives in the normal world and gets drawn into the magical world. I would do something like that. And then when I use ChatGPT to kind of point me in the right direction of what it would be, that's how I would build my character from there.
Well, I think that's very reasonable. You know what you want the story to be, and you kind of know what your hero is, and you probably know who the foil is. And it's just now you're building out those other characters who could easily become very flat, but by dimensionalizing them and forcing yourself to say, well, does this character have a sibling? Does that matter? I think it's important to know if the character did have a formative event, whether or not it ever makes it into the story or not. You need to know that about your character.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's also what the AI is good for, especially ChatGPT, because it will ask you questions like, where did he come from? Or do you want me to build out an idea, give you a list of possibilities of, where he went to school? It'll ask you those things, which makes you think, which then you can just use to build your character even more.
All right, so I'm going to take one more step here, and I'm going to return to the details. Okay, so we did the character AI prompt that you gave, and I said, let's get a little more detailed. I'm working on a modern era crime fiction story. I need to create character bios for each character. I'd like to have a solid understanding about my characters and their interpersonal relationships. So I give a little bit of setup. Can you give me a structured, reusable template that will guide my character bios? These character bios should fit on 1 to 2 pages, so keep that in mind as you prioritize the template for me. Now, I will note that it is not very different from what you initially gave as the prompt, but I was just curious if I gave it a little bit more information, if it would change the way it answered. So we're going to try one more time now. Where's my Gemini? Okay, so you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. So I put it in here. I paste. Okay, so we got the full name, occupation, profession, role and story, appearance and demeanor, physical description, style of dress, core personality, strengths, weaknesses, flaws, motivations, fears, brief history, education, interpersonal relationships. So not all that different.
No.
Right?
Because they're not going to, like you said, don't fill it out for me. So it's all just the basics, which is.
Yeah, I don't think it was all that different. So it's kind of, and that's where you see the limitations of AI, right? It doesn't ask me any follow-up questions that would keep it interesting for me or for the story.
Yes, because like I said, ChatGPT will ask you questions about what you want next or what it can do for you. Would you like me to write you out a paragraph? And you can say, give me just the first sentence. And then you can take it from there. Or you can say, I don't like this. I want to change that. It's the constant back and forth that feels like you're actually talking to someone and just bouncing ideas off each other, it's great for that. It's fantastic.
All right. Is the neighborhood saying anything?
No, they're all quiet.
All right. So Mike, this is week 1 of a 2-week show. We will follow up in let's go back to this. So next week we will do character journeys and creating conflict with characters as a follow-up. And this week we have something special, Mike. I wanted to do a shout out for our community spotlight. So get the applause ready, Mike.
Oh, okay. Let me get to the media assets. All right.
We have a pretty amazing community, and we hope that we inspire the community, but the community also inspires us. And this week's community spotlight, you ready, Mike?
Yep.
Goes to Andrew Campbell, who announced on Twitter 100 weeks of writing. And he gave himself a little achievement unlocked, 100-week writing streak. And I don't hear the applause.
Well, I was waiting for you to finish. So it wouldn't cut you off.
So we give a community spotlight to our friend from Down Under, Andrew Campbell, for achieving 100 weeks of writing. He says time flies. I say not when you're writing.
Congratulations, Andrew. 100 weeks of writing. That's impressive.
Yeah, he couldn't get to 2 years. That would have been 104. Guess he's not fully an achiever. Hey, now. So
there we go. Let's go, Andrew.
Yeah.
Look at that. Everybody's cheering for Andrew. 100 weeks of writing. That's impressive.
That is pretty impressive. I'll go through the meanest pitch you ever pitched. So applause, congrats. Yep. So keep sharing your socials. Let me know what's going on. I just happened to stumble upon this because I follow Andrew on the Twitters, and Andrew actually comes up in my algorithm because he retweets when I announce the show, or he comments when so his stuff comes up higher in my algorithm, which is why I was able to see this, and I was very impressed. So good work, Andrew. Another round of applause for our community.
That was the end of the applause. It's got to start over again. There we go.
All right, Mike, you can start to play the play out music. It'll probably be too loud, but
is that our play out music?
Yeah, that's our play out music.
Okay. All
right, everybody, thanks for joining us. This Tuesday and every Tuesday, we will be back with part 2 of this episode where we get into character conflicts. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. Please leave your likes, your comments, and obviously hit that bell for the subscription. Comments help the algorithm a lot and help us build our audience. We love you guys. We will see you again next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everyone.